Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork, Dandy Noodles. We're back for Ancient Magus Bride, Season 2, Part 2, Number 3. Such a lengthy title when it comes to part. But thank you guys and welcome back. It's getting colder. I hope you are keeping warm. We have hit the stormy season over here. It's wet, it's cold, and I'm very happy to see that in the anime we are also matching seasons. It seems to have gone into All Hallows Eve, the colder month. It's set inside the college right now. We can't really see what London's doing, but I can no doubt bet that it is definitely raining outside Chisei. Always rains generally. If it's the winter months, the likelihood of it not raining in London is very rare. We do get some sunny days, but it's always generally overcast. Today it's been stormy. Thank you guys so much for tuning back in, and I hope you're doing well. Today's epic awesome question, which I'll like your comments in below, is going to be, where in the world would you go right now if you had all the money in the world and you could travel for one holiday spot? Can't just say generally Australia. You've got to pick somewhere in Australia. My choice is going to be Japan, and it's going to be Kyoto. I love history. I'd like to see the more quieter. I know it's technically a tourist hotspot now, but I'd probably go out on the off season. I'd want to see the more old style buildings. I want to see the traditional pathways and walkways. I've also heard that the Starbucks over there is in an old style building, just so it doesn't ruin the aesthetic, which I really, really like. I'd like to also see Tokyo, but I am of the mind that if I'm booking a holiday, I don't often go to capital cities, just because once you've seen one capital city, you've generally seen most of them. I would be aching to get back out there into rural Japan, explore, go and have a little look. I'd like to go down to Osaka, go to Kyoto, maybe go up to Sendai at some point. I don't know, I'd want to spend as much time as possible over there. It's my goal, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. But I am studying Japanese at some point. I might be bringing some of my Japanese study to you guys, just so you can see how I'm doing. I've got a little surprise for you, but I can't announce it just yet. But let's just say, look out for next week. I've got a new format coming your way, and it's going to be very different. And I mean different because it's going to be actively, you're going to want to watch the video. So it's not just going to be me talking to you. It's not going to be podcast style, because a lot of these videos are podcast style. Maybe I should start podcasting these things. We're going to see how this goes. So I'm very excited to bring it to you. So get excited. Now, this week's episode, my suspicions are just on it. Veronica, I know it's you. I just got that feeling, and that teaser at the end. Ooh, Veronica, I'm on to you. I know it's you. I got a vibe. We've got a very interesting episode to break down. I love the fact that they are passing around info about how they usually spend their time. Generally walk around the town and having that much freedom going around London. There is so much in London that you can explore, so much food that you can do. London is amazing, and because of the tube network, it's pretty connected. Those guys right now are closer to Euston Station, so the nearest tube station to where Chisei and that lot are is Euston. They could get to most of the lines at that point. I know it's set a little bit further back. The tube network itself is pretty old, so they would definitely have the tube network, and we've definitely seen her at King's Cross. Chisei would be at the college very, very quickly. Puzzles that they all start looking into do remind me of the mental puzzles that you can buy in shops that get harder and harder, and you try and challenge yourself to try and undo them. So I love the fact that it's the same for mages and witches, that you can try your magic to try getting these open again once someone's locked them. As we finally get to see Elias back in the picture, and I've missed you. It does feel like I've had a while talking to him, and I know there's a moment later on when Chisei says, it's been a while since I've spoken to Elias, and I felt the same. I was like, I haven't seen him in ages. I know he's been there, he's been worried about his little human friend, how fragile his human friend is. I'm so happy he's okay again, that hopefully they get to catch some music together, and it's really nice to see these guys catch up. His friend calls him out for being very overprotective, but I love that. I think Elias is a mother goose. He looks after Chisei and he worries about everybody, and that's just the kind of person he really is. I love the little chibi moment where you've got Chisei making her ball pretty much fall apart. The chibi roof is such the cutest. I love it. But it's a very nice transition too, because he starts to wonder about Chisei's preferences, and then we look at Chisei and she's there. The black hair Chisei really suited her. I got very excited for a moment, but then it vanished so quickly. I think she probably would be the kind of person who would pull off most type of hairs. I think it looks really nice. Now, the object of my suspicion coming straight in, Veronica. I just don't like her. The fact that she's also got that power over Philomela. I don't like anybody who's got power over another human being. She allows Philomela to go and do the puzzle. Yeah, okay, you can do it. Philomela waits for permission to go and do something when it comes to anything. I don't know, I just don't like that about it. And there's a lot of times with Veronica, she's never really in frame. I think it's more that her appearances are rare. Compared to the rest of the class, she's not there. She's not taking part in these study sessions. She's never really just around with the people. Young Philomela, she's such a cutie and she's so hopeful. And I love just seeing how happy and free she was back when it was nice and back before horror pretty much took over. I think her name is Alcyone. She was summoned by the family to look after them and be their friend, be their servant and look after them. It seems happy. The family are happy. You get to see some hints at her parents. They do say, we can't take pictures, there's no nothing. Can you memorise this moment for us? I don't know if Alcyone has ever played it back to Philomela. If Philomella's even aware or remembers much of her past. Sometimes she does remember it, but it seems to be the more negative that she draws on. The happier memories seem to be coming from Alcyone. I'm really going to struggle with that name, I know it. Seeing the parents as well. Maybe she's not a wolf. I had a vibe that she might have been one of the wolf's kids, but I don't know. I don't quite think it is the case now because we've seen the wolf mum. Philomela's mother has blonde hair, so I don't think it is the same. With Alcyone, I do think it's interesting to see the two talking finally when Elias comes out, because Chise said in an earlier episode that she reminded her of Elias. Seeing them actually talk to one another, I think is quite interesting because both of them have somebody that they're protecting. But with Elias, it's a vice versa situation where he thinks that Chise's looking after him whilst he's not aware that he's really doing a great deal for her, which is quite cute. But I think if you ask Chise if you think Elias is caring and looking after you, I think she would still say yes. They're perhaps not aware of how important they are to one another. But with Alcyone, it's weird because she definitely cares for Philomela. But as she says to Elias, I don't have powerful observation skills. So it's a possibility she's not even aware of how much pain Philomela's in just because she can't pick up on that kind of thing. She's not as perceptive as maybe she wishes she could be because she's an artificial fairy. I thought it was a fascinating conversation. But now let's talk about the more ugly side of the anime, that abusive grandmother who I really hope that there's some kind of justice at some point because this grandmother's awful. And just seeing how happy she was. Such a hopeful child. She was very happy that she was playing with Rion and she was happy about the puzzle, but she just gets it all knocked out of her. We get to see what happens when you abuse a child over years and years and you tell them that they're worthless. You turn into Philomela where there's no point in her life. There's no happiness in her life. I'm not allowed to win. I'm not allowed to lose. I can't do anything. It's horrible. And then we see Rion, who it must be frustrating for him because he saw her as a child. He's shocked that he wins. You can see that look of shock on his face. He's also angry because he knows that she's better than this and he's angry. He doesn't understand the situation that Philomela's in, and I think I do agree a little bit with Isaac. It's a little bit arrogant to be feeling like this because he's put her on a pedestal. He's like, oh, you used to be amazing. You should be beating me. You should be better than this. It's a pedestal that she can no longer compete with because life has gotten in the way, and he's got a fake version of Philomela in his head of what she should be because she can't be like that anymore, because this is what she's not allowed to do anymore. The fight between these two was a long time coming because they've both got different views on the situation. The fight between them is one way you can see both sides of the argument, the way that they handle it as well. Isaac still wakes him up, so he's not exactly being a douchebag about it. It's a fair argument, and it's also just sad in general because you can see the damage that's been done to Philomela. Now, Jasmine ends up cursed. I presume she got cursed last week because those hands were on her back. Now, she does suddenly feel ill when Philomela herself gets really sick, and that's maybe because she used up her energy focusing on that ball, and I don't know if her using her energy, it ends up leeching off the next person, and the next person who got cursed was Jasmine. I don't know if that's just how the curse works and now the curse is activated or not, because at the end we do see a lot of sick people, but we don't know if it's the same due to the book. I don't know if it's the same thing or everyone's just falling ill with the flu. The backstory of Philomela causing Chise also to have a nice rare backstory moment. Of course, we haven't seen this in a while, but we know that Chise suffered as a child. She suffered very, very young. She also had to hide her feelings. She knows that Philomela can't cry. She wants to cry, but she can't. It's all been beaten out of her. She's had to hide it deep down to survive. The fact that there's this connection between the two, as much as they're very similar, they're also very different, which is why you see Chise for the first time unable to say anything. She really wants to say something, but she can't. It's a very rare moment of seeing her just lost for words. Abusive grandmother just simply manipulating the wolf's body. It's just dark. It's disgusting. She shows absolutely no remorse for the absolute power she's got over this poor wolf who just wants to see her children. Whether she will get to see them or whether they're even alive, I don't know, because if she's manipulating her insides like that, what's she done to her kids? She could have turned them into horrific monsters or something. I really hope it is the case that it's Philomela and she just doesn't remember or something, or it's been manipulated, but I doubt it. I want there to be a happy ending where there may not be a happy ending. We do get a very small reprieve from the negativity going on this episode with the rain moment, just having Chise and Elias chat about pumpkins and the rain, and just it's a nice moment because both of them feel like they haven't spoken to each other in a while. They've both had a lot of things on. It's nice because you do also see that it's All Hallows and they're getting towards the point when ghosts are more likely to be around. The theory behind it is that the veil between the living and the dead around this time of the year becomes very thin. Halloween to us is when the veil is the thinnest and the ghosts can pass over and come into the world and walk among us, so hence Halloween. I think it is roughly the same in the USA as well. That's roughly what I've known Halloween over here to mean. We don't really do trick-or-treating over here. It's come across, a few people will do it. Some neighbourhoods might do it if they know the kids and stuff. It's not big. I've been trick-or-treating once. I don't really remember enjoying it very much. I suffer from anxiety as it is, so it was real nervous for me to go up and knock on people's doors. I don't like it. A little tiny insight into Halloween, guys. It's a really good episode, and that teaser makes me really suspicious of Veronica. I don't like her. I think it's something to do with her. Maybe she's the one who's allowing this to continue. I don't know. I think there's something there. I can't connect the dots, but the story is definitely starting to unwind a bit, and I'm really enjoying the way that they've built it up. I think maybe the slow build of the first part was needed, and now it's all coming together. I'm finding more enjoyment in this second part than the first, so I'm happy that we're back on track again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know your answers down below. I hope I see you guys again soon, and don't forget to look on the channel around Monday time. We're going to have a very special video going up. Thank you guys so much. Bye bye.